Well, I haven't subscribed to a newspaper for a long time. But when I did, there was one newspaper comic strip that I always enjoyed reading. And that was For Better or For Worse by Lynn Johnston. If you're not familiar with that little comic strip, it's just a typical family scenario with all the normal bumps and grinds that we all go through in our regular family experiences. And there's one particular episode that I think really jives with today's gospel. It just so happened that on a cold winter afternoon, 8-year-old Michael comes running into the house. Mom, come quick! Lizzie's in the park, and she's got her tongue stuck to the flagpole. So Mom grabs her coat, and she dashes out to the park, where sure enough, her 6-year-old daughter's face is frozen to the cold metal pole. Well, obviously, it was not easy and somewhat painful to say the least. But Mom finally managed to free Lizzie, and the terrified little girl fell into her mother's arms. Honey, I've told you 100 times not to put your fingers or your tongue on very cold metal, says Mom. I told you that if you did, you'd stick to it. I know, Lizzie says, sobbing away. Then why on earth did you put your tongue on the flagpole, Mom says. So Lizzie replies very simply, I just wanted to see if it was true. Well, quite obviously, Lizzie and Thomas have a great deal in common, don't they? Both of them, the little girl and the disciple, are asked to believe something on authority alone, because the majority tells them to. And that's not enough for either of them. They need to find out for themselves the truth about cold flagpoles and about the resurrection. And you know something? God is not only okay with that, but in a very real sense, he encourages it. Because God wants us to trust our own experience of life to find our true faith. And I think that's very, very important, because I think a lot of people just equate faith with dogma. You know, we believe this, that, and that because that's what the church teaches, which is fine. You know, we need dogma just like we need rules and regulations to keep us from being less selfish and more loving, but we also have to have a living faith as well. So Thomas, I think, here really recognizes that each one of us possesses within ourselves the grace to seek God and discover for ourselves the truth about what God is actually accomplishing in our lives. So Thomas then refuses to be just a mere consumer of religion. And that's important too, because true faith is not passive acquiescence to a set of dogmas, as I said. Faith is being actively engaged in seeking God's presence in every facet of our lives. to be open in mind and heart, to identify signs of resurrection and recreation in our midst. And you know, we want a living, viable association with God. God isn't a set of rules and regulations. He's a person. He wants us to love him. He's reaching out to us in love, and we're responding back, specifically by loving each other. And so in doing all this, we truly experience the transforming life of God's grace and, as a matter of fact, his divine mercy to the full. And as you know, today is Divine Mercy Sunday. And after this Mass, we are going to have our special Divine Mercy celebration. And it's not real long. I hope all of you, at least most of you, will stay for it and help us celebrate, because, you know, God's mercy, as our psalm says, is everlasting. And, you know, he's willing to forgive us over and over and over again. It's so great. And of course, you know, it's what we say every day when we say the Our Father. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. So, think about it.